Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much to my subscribers. Welcome newcomers. I hope you like the channel and become part of this beautiful family that we are. And hitting that subscription button, you should know it's all free. And of course, the bell notification to be notified of the new uploads. I want to thank you so much for your support, your loving comments. You guys are just a blessing. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'd like to mention that I do have a private crochet group if you're interested to join. All you have to have is a profile. So you're more than welcome to join us and my beautiful queens on the group. And also have a Facebook crochet page that you can follow me, TikTok and Instagram. All of these links will be below the description box. There's a little arrow, like a V shape facing down this way like that. You could just click there, it opens up and all the links are there just below the video. A lot of you still don't know how to do that. I think I'll have to make a little video and show you because I get questioned a lot of times, my hook sizes, what kind of thread, when everything is listed below in the description box. I also would like to mention that I get requested a lot for written patterns. I don't write patterns. I go as my brain brings me there. As much as I don't write them, I don't read them either, unfortunately. So I use 100% cotton thread. These are Portugal brands, as I am in Europe. My threads, they go by number and not by name. So this lime green would be number 22. And I have this gorgeous gray, number 12. These are 100% cotton thread, 100 grams, equivalent to 325 yards. They're $12 a ball, minimum order of 6. To cover at least shipping. I gain nothing from it. I also have shiny threads, which I just finished doing a project, but I still have a little bit left. I don't know if you can see, this is black and gray. They're 50 grams. These are nylon. Could that be it? I can't remember. But anyway, so they're the same price. For whatever reason, it's much thinner than my regular thread. This 4-ply is similar to Aunt Lydia number 3 cotton. Mine is a little bit thinner, so my patterns become automatically smaller. Okay, if you're using Aunt Lydia number 3 cotton, your patterns are bigger. 2.75 hook or 3.5, depending on the pattern I'm working on. And a pair of scissors, of course, and a small one to tuck in loose ends. Please give a thumbs up on the video, comment, share. Sharing is caring. Help out the channel to grow. And I send you much love and much hugs and many prayers for many of you that need. We all need in general. The world needs it in general. And I send you much hugs. Let's get started, everyone. Thank you. So I'm going to use white. And I might have a twist on this. It could be a big centerpiece or a tablecloth for a small table. I'm not sure yet. I'll see as I go how I feel, but I'm planning maybe to add 3D flowers, and that will probably go into the second video if I do so, which the tutorial is out on these flowers. You guys should know it by now. I want to do it like the Christmas theme. So I've used 2 rows for the granny square here to attach onto the pattern if I'm going to create. And of course, I've left a piece of string to put my pearl on. And most probably will be mixing the reds just to give it that pop-up. But I'll see as I go and how I feel. I haven't been feeling great lately. I think it's due to the weather change. So my throat is scratchy. I've been getting a little fevered up here and there. I've tested myself. It's not COVID. I don't have a cold. It's just, like tiredness, achy body. I think that the climate change and the hour change, not getting probably enough rest. Anyway, you know how it is. right? So I'll be using white for now to do, it's a pineapple, by the way. Most of you request so much of the pineapple, so you're going to love whatever I'm going to make. I know you are because you just keep requesting it, right? So I'm going to do a covered tablecloth or big centerpiece of pineapple. And like I said, I might do that at the end of this tablecloth at 3D Flowers at the end. Not sure yet. Like I said, depending how I feel, if I'm not overexhausted, to continue on and crack my head on it and come up with that plan. The idea is there in my head now. It's just having that strength to do it, right? Okay, so let's get started, everyone. Okay, so 2.75 hooks. Sorry, I can't even function, right? Oh my goodness, Maggie, you haven't even started and you're already out of it. That's not good, is it? Probably need to make myself an espresso. I think that's what's going to boost me to get this pattern going, right? So I'm going to do the magic circle. If you're still having a hard time, then I suggest, especially using Aunt Lydia number 3, do a 10 chain, okay? So I'm going to secure that with a slip stitch. I'm going to come back in, do a single and 2 chain. This is my first double crochet. If I can pull up a little bit, I know sometimes it's overwhelming not seeing the stitch well. So inside of this magic circle, I'm going to continue to do 23 more double crochets. With my single and my 2 chain that I went up, I will have 24 double crochets total. This is row 1. I've done my 24 double crochet. I've closed in my second chain from the first one and I went up single and 2 chain. Okay, I didn't want to close it too tight because we need space to continue on before it starts waving only further up. Then I can pull on my string and tighten it up. So I'm going to come back in that same stitch I've closed, stretch my thread a bit, and 1 chain. So I have single, 1 chain, 2 chains. So that's my first double crochet and 1 more chain for space. Coming into the next one, doing double crochet, 1 chain space. Into the next one, again, repeating exactly the 24 double crochets. Difference is we're having 1 chain space between them. This is row 2. I'll meet you at the end. Going into row 3, so I've closed in with slip stitch on my second chain. I'm going to come directly into the center here between the double crochets, single, 2 chain. I have my first double crochet back in and doing my second double crochet, 1 chain space. So on this row, we're doing 2 double crochet in each space in between the double crochets and 1 chain space between the groups of 2. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, so closed in my groups, coming back in, we're going to repeat this row again. Single, 2 chain, my first double crochet right on top of the second double crochet with double crochet. So it's just a repeat. 1 chain, double crochet over double crochet, 1 chain space into the next one, and again. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, so I finished row 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gonna come back in. You can do your 3 chain as you used to making your regular double crochet to start. On my second one, I'm going to do 2 together on the same stitch, okay? So this row will be 3 double crochet, 1 chain, on the second double crochet, 2 double crochet together, 1 chain, on my first double crochet, on my second, 2 together. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, so pretty much finished my row 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to repeat exactly what we just did on row 6 So single 2 chain for me, could be just 3 chain for you. Next stitch, double crochet, and double crochet, chain 1. So we're doing 3 double crochets, 1 double crochet per stitch. We're just repeating what we just did, 3 double crochets, chain 1, and again. This is row 6. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, so finished row 6, going into row 7 now. Row 7, row 8 will be exactly like this with 4. Okay, so we did 3 the increase, and here no increase, we did just over the double crochet. Now we're going to do the increase with 4. The next row will be just over the double crochet. Okay, so row 7, so I'm coming in, doing my single and 2 chain. My increase will be here on my second double crochet. Make sure you turn your CC caption on. It should be up here, so you can pause and read the stitches I'm calling. Makes it easier for everyone. So now we have 4. So we're going to be doing the increase in the center. Row 8 is just double crochet over double crochet and 1 chain space, exactly how we did here. So 1 chain, double crochet. On the second one, 2 double crochet together on the same stitch. That's our increase. We're having 4 double crochets, okay, and 1 chain space. On row 8, 1 double crochet per stitch, so we'll have 4, exactly how we did here, okay? We'll have 4 and 1 chain space in between them. I'll meet you at the end of row 8. Okay, everyone, so I finished doing row 8 with 4 double crochets, 1 chain. Now, row 9 and row 10 will be exactly the same thing, 4 double crochets. The only difference is we're increasing on the chain. So this row 9, I'm going to do 2 chain space, okay? We're still doing 4 double crochet, 1, 2 chain, and continuing to do the 4 double crochets, 1 per stitch. Okay, so row 10 will have 3 chain space and still have 4 double crochets. I'll meet you at the end of row 10 with 3 chain space between them. Okay, everyone, so I've completed row 10 with 3 chain space between them. Now, row 11 and 12 also will be with 4 double crochet. We're going to keep increasing in the chain. So this row 11 will be 4 double crochet, 4 chain space, and of course 4 double crochet. So 1 per stitch, and 1, 2, 3, 4 chain. On row 12 will be a 5 chain space between them. That's the only increase we're doing on these rows, is the chain space, okay? So row 11, 4 chain space. Row 12, 5 chain space. I'll come back to you at the end of row 12. Okay, everyone, so we finished doing row 12, going into row 13. Now, row 13, we're going to close this motif out. So we're going to do 4 incomplete double crochets. So I'm doing my single and my 2 chain on the next one, incomplete on the next one, incomplete, and on my 4th one, incomplete, and then close it all together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 chain. Coming on that first double crochet, we're just going to repeat the incomplete double crochet. Take out 2 and hold it in your hook. Take out 2, and now we're going to close it together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 chain. And repeat exactly the same thing all the way around. Make sure you always look ahead of the video. Changes can be made or mistakes can be done, and we can fix it on the spot without taking it down. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end. This is row 13. Okay, everyone, so finished row 13, going into row 14. I've closed in with the slip stitch on my first chain that I've closed all 4 together. I'm going to come in the center of this 10 chain, inside of the 10 chain, and I'm going to do my single and my 2 chain. I'm going to start building shells of 3 double crochet, 2 chain, and 3 more double crochet. So I have my first shell. This whole row will be of shells. 1, 2 chain, coming again into the next one. If your tension is too tight, you can do a 3 chain space between them, and creating again my shell. 2 chain and 3 more double crochet. 2 chain space into the next one. So it's just going to be a repeat now of shells. Two chain space between them. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, so we finished row 14. I'm going to do the walk. I call it the walk, with a slip stitch to the center of that shell with a shell. Single 2 chain and 3 double crochet. 2 chain space and 3 more double crochet. So I'm building my first shell, and I'm going to do 3 chain, 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to build my second shell. We're going to have 3 shells, okay, before we change anything, with 3 chain space between them. So I've created my 3 shells, 3 chain space. I'm going to do 3 chain, and inside of this shell I'm going to do 9 double crochets, okay, and it's going to be repeat like this all the way around, the same way. Always 9 double crochets, 3 shells, 9 double crochets, 3 shells, okay? Very simple. So I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. 3 chain, and continue to do your 3 shells, okay? So I'll meet you at the end of my row. Just like that, okay? So now we're going to do 3 shells and then 9 double crochets. Okay, everyone, so I finished doing row 15. Trying to get my rope out of the way. So row 15, we're going to repeat shell where the shell is. I'm just going to complete my 3 chains here now. Make sure that you're all even. The 3 shells, 9 double crochet, 3 shells, 9 double crochet. Okay, so we're going to do the walk again to the center of that shell where we have the shell. We're going to do shell. Single 2 chain. And do my shell the same way as I've been doing. So I've done my shell. Now we're going to do 4 chain. It has to keep increasing because the pattern's getting bigger. So shell over shell, 3 double crochet, 2 chain, and 3 more double crochet. Chain 4. Okay, and then shell again. So it's going to be like this all the way around. Now, where we have the foundation for the pineapples, we're doing 3 chain only. 3 chain. Coming on the first double crochet from the 9, that's the foundation of the pineapple. 1 chain space and the 9 double crochets. So I have my 9 double crochets, 1 chain space, chain 3. So at the beginning and at the end here, chain 3 only. Everywhere else is chain 4. And continue to do your shell the same way as where we have the shells. Okay, I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, so we finished row 16, going to row 17, which I've started my shell because where we have shell, that's where we're continuing to do shell. The only difference now between shells, we're going to do 5 chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 into the next shell. Five chain again and do your shell. So I've done my 3 shells, 5 chain space, just before the pineapple, 3 chains only. Coming directly in between the first and the second double crochet, we're starting the loops, 3 chain loops for the pineapples. 3 chain, single, 3 chain, single. Okay. So we have 7 loops of 3 chain, chain 3, and continue your shell. And then chain 5 space between them. One, 2, 3, 4, 5 into your second shell. Okay, so this is just a repeat now, all the way around the same way. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, finished row 17, going to row 18, which I've done the walk with the slip stitch, did my shell. Now it's going to change a bit. So did my shell. I'm going to come directly where I have those 5 chain and do a shell again. So this whole rule will be about shells. Where we have the 5 chain, we'll be adding shells in. So 3 double crochet, 2 chain, and 3 more double crochet. No chain space into the shell with shell. Again, in the 5 chain space, we're doing shell. In the shell with shell. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shells. Chain 3, stays the same, and into the pineapple loops. So we're starting to decrease on the pineapple loops. Should have 6 loops on this row. And 3 chain again. Shell over shell. Now we're just going to repeat everything we just did with the 5 shells. No chain space between them, except when we get to the pineapple. 3 chain here and 3 chain there. Everywhere else is shells. Okay. Okay, you guys, finished row 18, going to row 19. I've started my shell. This row will be about shells. 1 chain space between the shells. So where we have the shells, we'll be doing shells. The only difference is that 1 chain space. Everything else stays the same. We're just repeating all the shells that we did, the 5 shells. 1 chain. And continue to do your 5 shells. One chain space and shell again. So I'm going to continue to do my 5 shells. So I have 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, going into the 5th. So I've done my 5 shells, 1 chain space between them. Chain 3 stays the same for the pineapples. Coming in the loop, still going to decrease all the way to the end of pineapple with 3 chains. And 3 chain again, shell over shell. So it's just a repeat now, no major changes on here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loops, okay? And continue to do your shells, 1 chain space between them. Okay, everyone, so finish row 19, going into row 20. We're going to repeat exactly the same thing, shell over shell. The only difference is this time we have a 2 chain space between shells. One, 2 chain, shell over shell. So very simple, nothing to it. That's the only difference on this row 20. It's just that 2 chain space between them. The pineapple stays the same. The 3 chain and the 3 chain for the pineapple loops. 3 chain, shell over shell, 2 chain space, shell over shell. So I'll meet you at the end, at the beginning of row 21. Okay, everyone, going into row 21. So I've started my shell, this time 3 chain, shell, and on the 3rd shell, so we have 2 shells done, 1, 2, 3 chain. On the 3rd shell, we're doing the 9 double crochets again for the foundation of the 2nd row of pineapples. Same thing as we did at the beginning here. So 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Almost knocked down my light. Everything is limited here in my space. Again, chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, shell over shell. So we do have those 5 shells. We're working on the middle one, which is 2 shells on the right side, 2 shells on the left side. 1, 2, 3 chain, and my 2nd shell here on the left side. Of course, for the upload of the left-handed people, this would be on your right side. 1, 2, and 3 chain. Continue to do your pineapple loops. And then 1, 2, 3 chain. Continue to do again your shell. I'll show you in a second what it looks like. So we have 2 shells. These are 3 chain, 9 double crochet, 3 chain, and 2 shells on this side. 3 chain for the pineapple loops, and we have 1, 2, 3 pineapple loops left on this row. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to create 3 left. Okay, so it's just a repeat now, remembering when you get, so you're going to do this shell, and on the middle one, which is the 3rd one, 9 double crochets. Then you have 2 shells left. Okay. Okay, everyone, going into row 22. So I've started my shell. 1, 2, 3, 4 chain. Doing shell over shell. One, 2, 3 chain only for the pineapples, exactly how we did the other one. 1 chain space, and continue to do your 9 double crochets. So basically it's repeating what we did with the first pineapple. We're just repeating the same thing on the second one, or the second row of pineapples, I should say. Okay, so here's the 3 chain, and everywhere else is 4 chain between the shells. So 4 chain and then 3 chain. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, going into row 23. So I've done my shell already. This time we're going to do a 5 chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do your shell over shell. Three chain. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to start to do the pineapple loops. So we're going in between the first and the second double crochet. Chain 3. And single. Chain 3. And single. So we'll have the 7 loops again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Chain 3. And do the shell. So the only difference is now is just the 5 chain that we're doing in between shell here. Where we have the pineapples, we're doing 3 chain at the beginning and at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chain. Continue with your shell. One, 2, 3 chain into the pineapple. 1, 2, 3. So on this row, you're supposed to have only 1 loop left for this pineapple to be almost closed out. Chain 3. Continue shell over shell. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, going into row 24, so I've started already my shell. Now, inside of this 5 chain we did, we're going to do a shell again, like we did on the previous ones. 3 double crochet, 2 chain, and 3 more double crochet. No chain space. Directly into the next one. So we'll have 3 shells here. And then we're going to do our 3 chain for the pineapples. So same thing as we did. Single, 3 chain, single, and then your 3 chain shell. So I've done 6 loops on this row, 3 chain, shell, again, shell. So we're doing the 3 shells again. And 5 chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Coming in our last loop of the pineapple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chain into the next one with shell. So we're going to repeat this all the way around the same way. So where we have our shells, we do our shells. Where we have our 5 chain space, we do our shell. So it's 3 groups of shell in between pineapples. Okay, so 5 chain there, your 3 shells, and your 3 chain loops for the pineapple. Okay, everyone, so I finished row 24 going into row 25. Now, row 25, where we have closing in our first pineapple, we're only going to do 3 double crochets. When we come around on this one, we're going to do also 3 double crochets, and we'll close it as the shell. Okay, so only where we have the previous pineapple, the first pineapple we did, chain 2, and doing the shell, the normal shell as we've been doing. So the only time we're doing those 3 is to complete the first pineapple that we did, which you will see now up ahead when I'm reaching to close it in. So 2 chain space again and create your next shell. Okay, and then of course we're still building this pineapple, chain 3. So continue with your 3 chains and single. So my 3 chain, and we're doing the shell because this is the second pineapple. We still need to do a few more rows before we can close it out. Chain 2 and do your shell again. Chain 2. Now we're going to do only 3 double crochets because we're going to close the pineapple out. Okay, chain 2 and 3 double crochets here. So this would be like doing the shell. Okay, and then chain 2 and continue to do your shell. Chain 2 and your shell again. We're still building that second pineapple row, so it stays the same as shells in order for us to close it out. 1, 2, and 3, and continue your loops for the pineapple. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, so finished row 25, going into row 26. So we had the 3 double crochets, 2 chain. Now I'm going to close it on the 3rd chain here. For me, a 2nd chain because it's a single 2 chain with a slip stitch. Okay. I'm going to come back in with a single and 2 chain. So this is my first double crochet because when we're going to come around, we're going to do a shell here. And then 1, 2, 3 chain for space. We were doing 2, now we're doing 3 chain, as we did on the previous pineapples, okay? Continue to do your shell. And 3 chain space between them this time. 1, 2, and 3, and shell over shell. Three chain, continue your pineapple loops. Okay. Done my pineapple loops, 3 chain, continue your shells. Your 3 chain, 1, 2, and 3. Shell over shell. Now we've reached where we've closed out that pineapple. Remember, we did 3 double crochet, 2 chain, 3 double crochet. Now we're going to do 3 chain. And in the center, we're going to do our shell. That's why we'll complete the other one, the first one we started. Three chain and continue shells again. Then your 3 chain shell, 3 chain your loops. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. So only when we come back at the end that we're going to complete. So we already have 1 double crochet for the shell. We'll complete the shell when we come back to it. Okay, everyone, so finished row 26. Now you remember we started with that single 2 chain, then 3 chain. We had only 1 there, so I've completed my shell there and closed in with a slip stitch on my 2nd chain. When I started single and 2 chain, that was my first double crochet. Okay, now we're going to come in the center here of this 3 chain and do a shell. No chain space and doing shells. So where we have the 2 chain space, we're doing shells now, like we did on the previous rows. So this row is all about shells into that 3 chain space, I should say, and create shell. And then, of course, you're going to continue to do your 3 chain for the pineapple loops. Three chain and into the pineapples. So you're going to have shell over shell and in between the chain spaces. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end. Everything else stays the same. Okay. So I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, so we finished row 27, going to row 28. Now, row 28 and 29 and 27 is exactly the same. It's just shell over shell. We need to complete until we have one left of these pineapple loops, okay? So I am going to do the walk. So I've closed in with slip stitch. I'm going to do the walk with slip stitch to the center of this shell and create my shell. So everywhere we have shell, we're doing shells. The only difference is we're doing one chain space on this row 28 between the shells. And then the next row, we're doing 2 chain space between the shells. Okay, so 1 chain and shell. That's all we have to do. And there's no point of recording the same thing over and over. So all 3 rows and the next row will be shells. This one has no chain space. This one 1 chain space, and the next one 2 chain space. Shell over shell. And then your 3 chains for your pineapples until we have 1 left. Okay, so I'm going to complete mine until we have that 1 left so we can close out the pineapple together. 1 chain, and then continue to do all of the shells over shell. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end of row 29. And you should have 1 loop left at the end of the next row. Because now we're going to do 2 loops on the pineapple. Chain 3, single, chain 3. So we have our first loop and our second loop. So you know that the next row, you should have only 1 loop left. And then continue shell over shell, 2 chain space, 1 chain space between them, and the next row 2 chain space between them. One chain, and continue on with your shell over shell. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end of row 29. Okay, everyone, so I finished row 29 going into row 30. So pretty much row 30 is to close out a pineapple, exactly how we did the other one with 5 chains. So I'm going to do the walk into the center shell over shell. That will be all the way around the same way. We're almost done. Three chain, exactly how we did with the other ones, shell over shell, and 3 chain space between them. We don't want the pattern to pull, right? So I'm going to continue to my 3 chain my shell, and I'll meet you here on the last one. Okay, everyone, so I've reached the last shell. We're going to do the 5 chain, 2, 3, 4, and 5, exactly how we did with the last one, the first pineapples, and 5 chain again. So we did single, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and your shell, and continue your shells, 3 chain space between them. I'll meet you at the end. Okay. Okay, everyone, so we finished the row 29 going into row 30. This is the last row. Now, you do have some options on this last row. If you don't want to do another row right after this, you can do your double crochets, and you could already do your picots. Okay, I'm giving you the examples of what you can do, so you can just terminate that way. You can do one chain, you can come in here, one chain in the center with a single. These are just samples for you, ideas I should say. And picot. Coming back in and doing your 3 double crochet. Now I'm planning to do 3D flowers around it, so I'm not going to close mine completely. I'm not going to work it this last row like this. I will have to go to another video for the 3D flowers. That's optional for you. Now you can close it with single, or you can close it with slip stitch if you want your shell here to be more closed, and do the peacock closing with slip stitch over here. Okay, I'll show you when I get to the pineapple. So I'm getting to the pineapple. I'm doing my shell with peacock here. One chain. Now you could either come in here with it like that, close it up this way, or you can just do a 2 chain and go directly to the next shell there. Okay, these are just options for you. You don't have to do it this way, or you can, if you don't want to do it on here, you can just do that 1 chain. Or 2 chain as you wish, and go directly into the next one and do your shell with the peacock. Okay, just a way of closing that pineapple out more for you. And this is pretty much what it would look like, but that's optional for you. You don't have to do it this way, or you can just do without peacocks if you don't. I know that some of you are not like fond of peacocks, right? So you could just pretty much not do the peacock and do and if you don't want to come in here, you can just do a 2-3 chain and go directly there. Okay, so you'd skip the first one. These are just examples for you. And do so double crochet, skip the first one, 2 inside. You could even do 3 inside if you want it to be fuller, and not do the last one. Skip the first one, come in the second again. This is where the pineapple is. 2 inside, or 3. By doing 3, it gives you more of a round shape and fuller. So I'm just giving you the example here, and I'm doing 3 on this one, and so you'll see the difference. It might not look too different, but it is. It makes a difference on the pattern. This one has 2 and that one has 3. You can close it up that way also if you like. So I'm going to leave it to your criteria as you wish, as you prefer to do. And I'm going to stop here because I'm planning to go into the second video and add my 3D flowers, which I'm still debating which one I am going to create. I had created one here already, but I'm not too sure about it. This is, I call it the carnation. I have this out. It was at the beginning of my tutorials when I first started and didn't know any codes at all. But I think I had redone the carnation flower. So this would be added on to the edge here, one after another. But I'm still debating if I'm going to put some green in there or not, you know, to have some leaves. But I'll just think about it and see how I go about. Okay, so I want to thank every single one of you. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I have a little video and some pictures at the end to show you what this beauty looks like. And if you're interested to add the 3D flowers, then join me at the end to the next video. Another option for you, if you want to keep increasing a little bit bigger, you can just continue doing your shells, your 3 chain. You can do 2-3 rows of 3 chain and then 2-3 rows of 4 chain and keep going shell with shell and shell and shell, all shells. So you'll have enough length also on there with shells. And if you wanted to whiten it up more, then you would have to do exactly how we did. You will have to add more shells. So that means do shell, 1 chain here, or 2 chain, I should say, shell, 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 shell. You know what I'm saying? Exactly how we had done it here. Okay, and that's going to expand more of your pattern by adding more shells on the rows that we had done. Okay, so it just creates you more large. It largens the pattern up by adding more shells into the space here. Okay, so I'll just show you. Sometimes it's much easier to show. Okay, so that, because I know some of you are going, oh, how can I make it bigger? I know you're going to ask me. So you do your shell, chain 2, go directly, no chain, exactly how we started. Remember how we started for the first row? There's no chain. Second row, there's 1 chain space. Third row, 2 chain space, and so on, until the desired length you want, right? So this is just going to give you more of wideness on the pattern, and it just keeps growing more and more and more, because obviously, you know, you're not just going to keep doing chain stitch like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, it's going to look ridiculous at some point, right? So you'll have to add more shells in there on each of the chain space here. So exactly how we did here. Now that we had added the shells, so we're basically doing this row here. And then you'd go chain 1, chain 2, chain 3. And then if you want to continue bigger, then you continue to keep adding shells onto it. Okay, so that's just examples for you. And I will see you in the next tutorial. Thank you so much, everybody. Until next time. And if you don't want to close it with picots, you can just do singles all the way around and close it up with singles. Okay? Take care, everybody. God bless.